Hey, it's Mario Toneguzzi. Here's a new episode of 5 Questions. Be my next guest on 5 Questions by clicking on the link below and we'll contact you. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to 5 Questions with Mario Toneguzzi on MegaPixx Media. Joining me today is Monika Blachut, who is an associate with Fairfield Commercial Real Estate in Calgary. Thanks for joining us today, Monika.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to me a little bit about your background and how you got involved in this industry and what you actually do for Fairfield.
For sure. So I've been in the real estate industry in Calgary now for over 13 years as an associate with Fairfield Commercial. We specialize in assisting landlords and tenants in either securing tenants or helping restaurateurs and retailers find new locations for their lifelong dreams and opening new businesses.
And how did you start in the industry?
Oh my goodness. It was fresh out of university, and I originally started in residential real estate. And over the course of my journey, I started in commercial about 4 years ago, and I love it. I absolutely love what I do.
So as a commercial real estate specialist in restaurants and in retail, what exactly do you do?
Okay, well, it's multifaceted. Mainly it is helping, so say I'm doing a tenant representation. We have a business owner that has an idea, or a chef who has a wonderful idea for a new chef-driven concept. What we do is we educate them on the market conditions, what's happening in the market, on the goings-on of the real estate market. We help source locations, and then we help them through the whole transaction process. So from getting an offer submitted, negotiating business terms, and then working with them through to them actually taking possession and opening up their space. So we are the behind the scenes education piece that helps move the transaction smoothly through the process.
Okay. So Fairfield is considered a boutique commercial real estate firm. What are the benefits for a client to work with a firm of this nature?
Of course. Well, as a boutique firm, you are getting boutique hand-on service. I think that especially in these current, in the current market, it's so beneficial to have somebody that will pick up the phone when you call, somebody that's there to assist you through every step of the process. And because we hand select our clients, because we hand select the landlords that we work with, we don't take on a vast majority. We specialize and we work with a select few so that we can give the best service possible. So that's what you're getting when you're working with a boutique brokerage.
It's Mario Toneguzzi. Do you want to highlight your company on my next episode of 5 Questions? Click below. Now, obviously, the last few months have been very difficult out in the market with the COVID pandemic. How has that, the coronavirus situation, how has that changed in any way leasing and transactions and that whole process?
Of course. Well, my goodness, we can all attest to the fact that it's been so uncertain and the market continues to be quite uncertain. So the biggest change that we're seeing right now is the need for landlords to be a little bit more flexible, especially at the start of a term. So terms range anywhere from short term, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, potentially up to 10 years that somebody would sign on to a lease and secure a space for. And we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are willing to take the risk, that are willing to take the plunge, that are willing to step out and follow that lifelong dream, but they need some help. And so what we're seeing now, our landlords are becoming more flexible. So we're seeing that there's longer fixturing periods, there's some longer free rent periods as well. There is some specific pandemic clauses and wording that we didn't see before that helps cushion tenants and protect them should there be another mandated lockdown. And I think the key here is that there needs to be a coming together and a meeting together and a flexibility for both ends in order to make opportunities come together.
Now, as you look forward and, throughout this pandemic, I'm just wondering from the retail perspective, the restaurant perspective, in terms of the market in general. I think there's a lot of, people get upset because there's a lot of closures out there, a lot of retailers closing, a lot of restaurants closing, but there's many opening up, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what are those people seeing? First of all, are you seeing that there are new businesses coming up, and why? Like, why are they jumping into the market at this time?
Of course. So retail leasing and retail is a very there's a lot of recycling that happens. And what we're seeing mostly, especially when it comes to restaurants, and I'll speak a little bit to the retail aspect as well, is that we're seeing a big migration from, say, a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot restaurant to a lot of chef-driven concepts that want smaller, more manageable spaces. So what we're seeing is, well, let's be honest, before, say 3 years ago, a restaurant group went in and leased the space, okay? Say they had $1 million build out. COVID hits. All of a sudden now you are carrying your debt load for your build out. You have your lease rates. It's unmanageable. So the best thing for them to do sometimes is to walk away. And then we're seeing new chefs with really cool, unique, fun concepts that I think our market in Calgary is lacking. So it's kind of neat that we're seeing these emerging cool concepts coming, and they're jumping on the fact that they can get into a previously occupied space. They can do so at more reasonable rates, and they don't have to take that huge risk of that $1 million build out, and can kind of come in and start operating and bring their art to the public. Same thing in the retail side of things. Interestingly, we've seen out in Eastern Canada, specifically Toronto, Montreal, there are a lot of international brands that are entering the market. What we're seeing in the Calgary zone, though, is there's a lot of local transaction, local entrepreneurs that are actually, some of which have been casualties of our oil and gas slump in the past. And are now willing to take a risk, willing to see the positives of diversifying our economy, and are looking to open and continue on and change their perspective. So be opportunistic in this very uncertain time.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today, Monika.
Thank you.
That was Monika Blachut, who is an associate with Fairfield Commercial Real Estate in Calgary. This has been 5 Questions with Mario Toneguzzi on MegaPixx Media. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed the episode. Remember, if you want someone you know to be our next guest, click below in our description. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe so you'll never miss an episode.